Hey everybody, welcome to the 5Cs. This is Planet Head. I am playing as Ashford Rogers, my PvP pilot that I'm slowly making, or bringing back into play. Robert Gould Shaw is still being played. He's going to be my main CEO character, but this is my other character on my account that I used to play in earlier videos. As I said in the last couple videos, I'm trying to change up the videos quickly. Um, to get away from me just rambling and jump into just going over tips, and then gameplay, and then I can ramble after that. So if anybody doesn't want to listen to me go all over the place, they're free to move on. um, so as far as tips, I normally have been trying to stick with one tip a day, but this actually goes with two of them, and it goes directly into the gameplay that I've got. Um, so the first part being that I am currently in the system of TAF. I'm going to show you that here over on Dotlan. It is in the faction warfare space. I'm in TAF right here. I'm going to set this up as my temporary home base for quite a while, I think. The reason I'm looking at that is a couple of different things. Anybody who knows me and watches my videos, I live in Mimitar space right now. I've been focused on flying rifters and getting blown up in them. And the tip comes from looking at where you're at. Now, normally, if you pull up the Eve universe, let's go ahead and close that. Sorry, I'm not going to watch your ad right now. Okay, so a good thing to do is to really look at your area. And the tip being, look for content, especially for players who play like I do, where you only have gameplay at 30 minutes at a pop. It's what these videos are focused on. So I'm in Molden Heath, and TAF is. I'm sorry, I'm not in Molden Heath. I am in Heimatar right now. There we go. So, um, my main base is in Ormulf, right here, nice and safe. That's where Robert Gould Shaw presides. But I started looking around at the maps, and here comes my tip. You get a little bit stuck here. You're like, well, I want to go into faction warfare space. How do I get there? Where's stuff? Well, in this system here, you've got a small area down here that is faction warfare space. As an example, if you go back out here and you go over to Placid, got some faction warfare space up in this area. This is all low sec over here, just regular low sec. So those are not connected. So sometimes it can be a little bit hard to figure out where's the best spot to land at. Well, if you're wanting to focus directly on faction warfare space, you can do a different style of map. And I know this is probably very simple for those people that are out there, but if you haven't seen this before, hopefully it will help you. The maps that you can go to, let me just bounce back here real quick, are down here, the special maps. And this is one, the Faction Warfare Amar versus Minmatar. The other one is Faction Warfare Caldari versus Galente. It will take all of the systems that are being fought over between those two factions and have them as their own map. They'll look drastically different and they won't be separated out by region, but they will give you a better feel for the lay of the land if you're just trying to do faction warfare space. So click back on that there. And this is why I chose TAF. Now, if you remember before Heimatar, I was living near Rennes. Rennes is one of your major hubs, so I can get things that I need. Down here, right here, is TAF right here. So it's just a couple of jumps away. 1, 2, 3, all in high sec. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I chose TAF for a couple of different reasons. Like I said, it might be temporary, it might be long term, but I kind of like it. Number one, it's only 2 jumps away from research. Number 2, it's off a regularly traveled route. So if you come in here, Amamake and Gomago, you have to go through those 2 systems to get to a different area. TAF, you do not have to. You have to go through Egmar to get around, but you don't have to get through TAF. So this is a little bit of a pocket system here. It also has production. So I can bring out some blueprints and start production out there. if I want to build some small frigates, mainly rifters. Um, so this is the first hint of the day, is using the different maps within Dotlan, the special maps, to make it a little bit easier on yourself. If you look at some other, I like to look at these maps and kind of plan things out. If you look, a great example that you might not recognize is, and I haven't been down here, but just looking it over, let's say you were wanting to fly from Vard to Llama. So you come down here, and you're coming through, and your autopilot would take you through this way, bypassing Oyerman. The other one here, Ra, which is on the other side, you could access coming through here. So if you're looking for less traffic, always look for these systems that are just off to the side. Now, I don't know whether or not this is a good system or a bad system. Looking at it, it doesn't have a facility or anything like that. So maybe there's some player characters that live there. I have no idea. But just looking at the maps and trying to think of routes that most people would go on, you might be able to find some neat spots. This is a spot right here. The only negative to it is it's only one way in, one way out, which is different. While TAF is its own little pocket here, you do have some movement, and each one of these has a station. You've got some other pockets in here. If somebody wanted to bring their corporation in and take over this area right here, they could block it off by 3 separate spots. I think of Risk. If anybody's ever played Risk, you know how Australia only had 1 entrance into it. South America had 2. Europe was always the toughest because it had so many entrances to it. That sort of thing. So I loved Risk back in the day. So that is tip number 1. Maybe I went a little bit too fast. The second tip is this one right here. Anybody who's watched me recently has seen me getting blown up in some rifters. I did a lot of research over the last couple of days where I didn't have, where I wasn't making videos. And one thing I came across, which I think would help anybody out, even if you don't fly rifters, just to read this guide. It is an older guide. It's version 2.0, but it's really well known from what I understand. I actually found it through a link from Eve University that I was reading up on. And really, I'm not an easy reader. I cannot pay attention to things a long way. But this one is really well written. It's Wensley's Rifter Guide. And he goes through basically how to fly a Rifter. But not only just a Rifter, he will talk about fitting it, setting it up, what the different things mean. Just by reading it, I got a better example in my brain of how different things and how different mechanics of Eve work. An example of that would be actually right off the bat. If I remember correctly, it was about the capacitor. A really big hint, and maybe this is hint 2.A, because the hint is to find this and read it. It is Wensley's The Rifter Guide Solo PvP. It's right there. It's a PDF. Eve tech files. I'm sure there's other stuff in there, which I'll have more time to read later on. But the one tip that I got from this, which I had kind of noticed but didn't, was capacitor recharge. Whenever your capacitor gets either really high or really low in power, the speed that it recharges at actually becomes slower. So if you run your capacitor or you have your capacitor taken all the way down to 0, it will not recharge as fast as if it were at 25 to, let's say, 75%. When it's in that nice, happy little fun area in the middle, that's when the recharger is actually working its best. So that's tip number 2.A, because tip number 1, if you want to fly, even if you've been flying for a while but you've never read this, I would really suggest reading it. I'm still a new PvPer. It really helped me out, but some things in it that I thought I knew, I didn't really know as well. He goes into different types of guns and spells them out there. A lot of this stuff I had been doing research by hand, so this is really cool. And he doesn't go into a lot of things. If you notice here, he only puts a little bit into missiles and a little bit into drones. Why? Because Minmatar ships don't focus on Minmatar missiles and drones. He does talk about them briefly, but it's something for you to find out if you want to. So that's tip number 2. So, Geez, okay. I don't know if anybody else has been having some problems with their connection recently, but I have been having a bug of a time. It was all set to fly, too. Let's get it up and running here. There we go. Sorry, I started the video off and I didn't realize I'd started eating or Werther's Original, so it's sick in my mouth. So if I'm not wasting it, I freaking love them. Okay, let's get back up and running. Like I said, you'll see my characters here. Playing as Ashford Rogers right now versus my current CEO character, who I've been playing for quite a while, Robert Gouldshaw. And then we've got Abus Abraham, my very first character that I started off with. I'll get back to him sooner or later whenever I get back into Galente stuff. So we'll go with Ashford here. The reason why I'm switching over to Ashford in the faction warfare space is I'm going to have the corporation switch over to faction warfare, and then I'm going to start losing some standings to Amar and Caldari ships. I spent a lot of time working on my standings for all 4 factions with Robert Gouldshaw. I'm not willing to give those up. So I still will fight with him, just not going to do faction warfare with him. Okay. Another thing that I did recently was I actually brought out the blueprints that I was using for Mr. Gouldshaw and contracted them over to Mr. Rogers here. Mr. Rogers, that's kind of funny. So I could start building some ships. And the first one that I built, obviously, is a Rifter. And why am I wanting to do that? It's a little bit strange. Make active. Just change the name real quick to anything X, just so people can't see that it's me flying a Rifter. It doesn't really matter for what I'm about to do. I also want to go get, I have a lot of some blueprints out in nullsec space out in the Great Wildlands. So I'm going to try to sneak out there today, and that'll be my gameplay part of it. I do this all the time. I don't do it with a cloak. I actually just use the maps and stuff like that. I actually avoided a gate camp earlier, getting the blueprints I currently have just by checking the maps. So go ahead and pull that up here. Let's go ahead and put that over on the other window here. Good. And so why do I have this here? Well, this is the destination I need to go to get to the station out in the Great Wildlands that I have some blueprints being researched right here. So I need to get there, stop the researching, and then get those blueprints back to where they're in a usable spot for a while. Because I want to do some exploration with this guy too, and I need these slots open. And I don't think I'm close enough to actually do that right now. Might be able to. So I know you can control your laboratory operations. I forgot about that. Maybe if I can get within 15, I could do that. So science. And, oh, I don't think it is. Oh, that would have been. Nope, it's not laboratory science, laboratory operation. It is, I think it's remote, something remote, research project. Nope, not that one. One of them allows me, and I don't think I have it on this character, to be able to change out my my lab researching from a distance away. Is it in here? And I'll figure that one out. I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to try to get there. Now, I have some junk. I have my rifter that I literally just made an hour ago. I'm going to use that to try to get there. Got some junk lying around the ship, so we're just going to use maybe some stuff that I can find here. Maybe take a better chance of getting there. Let's get rid of that one. Don't need you, don't need you. Let's clean it up. Like I said, this is going to be a throwaway ship, most likely. So not too worried about it. Let's go ahead and throw on a micro warp drive. Good. And I only have the large shield extender, so let's just go ahead with that to try to keep me alive. Got some nanofiber that'll make me turn faster. We'll go with 2 of those. And some inertial stabilizers. We're going to do 2 of those. Why am I doing that? Because by doing that, it will lower my turning and my acceleration, which might allow me to get away from a tackle quicker. Really don't need a whole lot else here. I could throw some guns on, but I'm not going to be firing at anything, so I don't really care. Last but not least, actually, if that's true, I wonder if I could throw on a... This won't work, I don't think. Nope. Thought I'd get away with it. Not a big deal. What if I throw in a 10 MN afterburner? I could. That wouldn't balloon me up. Yeah, let's go with it. I don't care. If we die, we die. Let's get rolling. Like I said, I want to get into the gameplay quicker in these videos. Been talking a lot. How long we got here? It's about 16 minutes in. So all I'm trying to do is get to MTAC M. You will see me look to my right a couple of times as I do this, because I will be looking at the maps and information. If I see anything that's worthwhile. Oscar. Okay. Amamaki. So we want to go. As I'm flying through here, I'll be checking out the systems. Jumping into Egmar. Let's check out Gomgar. Okay. Ooh, a lot of kills about 6 hours ago, but nothing recently, so I'm fine with that. Just to show you what I'm looking at here is off of Dotlan. This is Golmagar, Golmorogod. Right there, 8 kills, so somebody must have been fighting. Now, back over. Gonna be going to probably Amamaki next. I'll show you what I avoided earlier by doing this. It's not foolproof, but I'm checking out Amamaki right now off of Dotlan. I'll show you right here. So when I went flying through here earlier, about 6 hours ago, there were 15 kills. Oh, I'm sorry, 15 pod deaths, over 30 kills. So what does that say to me? It says there might be a chance that there's a gate camp going on there. So instead of going that way, to bring my blueprints out, instead of coming through this way, I actually went around and went in that way. And that's what you can keep an eye out for. Okay, this is a big one. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got some stuff going on. But I doubt at this gate, because I thought I had locations for this. Oh, that's right. I haven't played with this character very often out here. I'm so used to flying around with Robert Gould Shaw, not used to not having the same save locations. Now, this doesn't really matter to me right now. I'm bouncing off of a planet to then go through the Ossigar gate. This would be really important out in nullsec, but highsec, the only reason I'm doing it is if people are gate camping, I might be coming through at a different direction than they're expecting. Interested how fast having this afterburn, so I can get a max velocity up to 2,000. Nice. So why am my thought here, and I don't see anybody on the gate. Okay, so no big worries. My big thought is once I get out to the nullsec regions, which is right out here, that's where you have to worry about the warp bubbles. And if somebody has bubbled up a gate, if I understand it correctly, you can't use your micro warp drive, but you can use an afterburner. So if I'm able to fly with a 2,000 at a speed of 2,000, by only putting the afterburner on there, I might have a chance to get away, or at least crash back to the gate. So we'll just keep rolling along here. So let's see here. I'm going to be going through Derelict, Uplinger. So I'm going to be going through Derelict and Uplinger. So while we're on our way there, let me go in Dotlan, check that out. Derelict, Uplinger. Where are you? My brain is not. Oh, up here maybe? Bruce. That goes in the Great Wildlands there. Nameable? Never even heard of it. I don't think I've ever gone this direction before. It's interesting. So I'm still in Heimatar. Uplinger. Ah, now I see it. Okay. There's Uplinger. Let's see how many people have died. Okay, we've just got one about 2 hours ago. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable there. And then after that is Yishinun. And one died 12 hours ago. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable flying through those systems. That'll put me into the high-sec spot of Nimable, and I'll have to go through Ubtis. Nobody died there. I'm not saying I can't die in these spots. I'm just saying it's best to take a quick look and avoid anything that you can. Nobody's died in Kabi, which is the next one I would be going to. Now the scary one is 7ZQ, which is this one. That's the one I want to check out to see if I can get in to the Great Wildlands, if I don't get caught along the way here. So just to show you here, this is the Great Wildlands. I used to come in this way, coming up from Molten Heath down to MM. But I'm coming in from a different direction, from Derelict here, Kabi, 7ZQ, and then I'm trying to get up to MTech-M that way. Oops, I still need you up. So what we can do is check it. So we've got one death about 3 hours ago, and a pod 2 pods about 6 hours ago. So there is some action, but hey, we're going to go for it. Because on the opposite side of that 7, the scary part is when you go from Cobby here to 7Q Tech 8, there could be a warp bubble on the other side, so you have to be careful. It is an entry point. Anytime you take an entry point from high sec or low sec into null sec, definitely could be some gate camps. But I haven't seen anything die recently through there, so if I do run into the bubbles, I'll try to do the I'll do exactly what I'm doing right now. So let's say I was bubbled right now. Okay, I would zoom out just to see what's around me. If there's a bubble, there's somebody who's trying to kill me. Then what I would do is see where the bubble is at shortest point from me, and I would most likely point. Actually, I should probably try to move this up to F1. Okay, so I would point in that direction and ready my finger here to hit F1 and hit F1. And that'll get my speed up and hopefully get out of the bubble as quickly as possible. Even if I were tackled, I'd have to be tackled by people inside the bubble that have regular afterburners. So there might be a chance that I can outrun them out of the bubble, get a break, and try to then warp away. The other option is to take a breath, aim myself back at the gate, and try to warp, get there that way. Used up all my capacitor just to run. Now the one thing got to be careful of is the fact that I'm using the 10mn afterburner, which can use my capacitor a lot faster. So what I'll do is, if I can make it, we'll see if I die, get into MM, then you're going to see me die. If I don't, we'll just go ahead and end the video there. I'll start trying to work on planning out getting my blueprints back to my home base. After that, I'll start to be able to outfit some ritters. Ritters, that's fantastic. Rifters, and I'll get back to fighting. Each video, I'll probably pull something for quite a while from, there were 36 pages to that Rifter guide. So I'm sure there's a lot of information that I can pull from there for hints, things like that, for things that I'm learning. Okay. Okay. We're 2 jumps away from the important one. Nullsec is just a completely different world. Now the nice part is a lot of people don't live out in the Great Wildlands, so, and it is 6 p.m. on the East Coast, so not, people might just be starting to play. Nobody in system here, wow. Okay, this is the big one, whether or not I can jump through here. I'm not saying there won't be bubbles other places, but this is the major one. The other one would be the jump that I'd be going from 2 jumps after that, 8YC to EO2 Tech IK. Because that is another spot where you are going from constellation to constellation. It's only one entry point. Okay, this is the important part. Minimize that. Anybody in local? Always check local first. Got nobody here. Oh, somebody killed something, but we're not going to hang out and find out. It's getting out. This is a little bit scary. I should be taking a little bit more time whenever I'm trying to come out, when I do have the blueprints on me. I might even take a different route out than I came in. Not sure. I think I've got to fly south up here too to pick up some more blueprints. I want all my blueprints up that way so I can just start building. I'm not only going to focus on rifters. I'm going to start off with rifters, but I want to increase it to both destroyers and cruisers and maybe even battleships or battle cruisers. Okay, nobody there. This is the last of the major jumps. We're only 2 jumps away, but EO2 Tech IK is going from one constellation to another, which there could be gate camp here. I doubt it, but there's always a chance. If I have anything in EO2K. I don't. There probably is somebody at least in the system because it is one of the 3 systems that have NPC stations out here in the Great Wildlands. Oh, just one guy. Ali Booby. So here's the other part. If I'm able to get in station fast enough, I will probably just grab what I can and get back out because I know I didn't see anything that worried me the whole way here. So if I can get this stuff just back to high sec and then plan it out from there, then I'd be much happier. So I may just turn around and do that. But I'm not going to hold you guys up. If I'm able to get through here to MTAC-M, then we will go ahead and end the video. And I wish you guys a great night. I'll be playing a lot more tonight. I'm going to do some burn a fire out back and just relax and have a good night. Did a lot of work around the house. So just anybody here? I am by myself. Yeah, I'm going to grab my stuff and get the heck out. Alrighty, so dock on up. Alrighty, everybody, if you want to join me sometime, I'll be out in what was the name of that place? Taff for quite a while. I will be roaming around the area trying to get fights and get killed. You can also always join me if you message Robert Gould Shaw, in-game character, or you can just come to our in-game channel, The5Cs. It is a group of like-minded players, not parts of corporations, just people who like to play the same way. It is not a recruitment channel. So, and we've got a Discord channel if people want to fleet up. Alrighty, that's about it. Have a good night, and good luck, and stay alive.